Apple Martin is debuting her music career, but the Coldplay fans aren't excited about Chris Martin's daughter, especially after hearing the alleged mean girl at her first live show. Gwyneth Paltrow is feeling embarrassed after Timothée Chalamet made it very clear that he wanted Julia Roberts to play his love interest in his new movie, Marty Supreme. Gwyneth made a big deal about their intimate scenes and even bragged about not using an intimacy coordinator. But it all looks desperate after Timothée revealed that she was his second choice. So let's get into it. Oh no, this could not be real. We are watching Apple Martin, the daughter of Chris Martin from the legendary Coldplay, singing on stage, but it sounds more like karaoke. Oh, not the, whoa, but it kind of helps when the guy starts to come in. They're like, kind of harmonizing. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. I mean, Apple Martin has tried to get into modeling. You know, her mother is Gwyneth Paltrow. Her father is Chris Martin. They are both very, very popular celebrities, A-listers. And you know, Gwyneth is a great actress. Coldplay is great at performing. I've seen him live before, and he is excellent. But it looks like he did not train his daughter the same way. Or maybe, you know, the nepo-baby situation just didn't work out this time. Somebody said that nepotism has killed art. This is a nepotism baby I don't support. And aren't we bored with nepotism yet? You know, I think that there are times where it's okay, because some of these artists raise these children and they end up being incredibly talented and they have the connections, so it makes sense. So I'm not gonna hate on all the nepo babies, especially the ones who are doing well. But it seems like Apple just can't seem to figure it out. We've talked about Apple before on this channel because she's had a bad reputation of being like a mean girl, like a truly mean person to people in high school, to people out in public. And you know what? I've never met her. I don't know her. Maybe she's okay. But there are so many stories about her that, you know, if there's smoke, there's fire. There are people on social media saying that nepotism is wild. People with ordinary talent get the spotlight. I've seen better singers in my town's middle school play. Somebody said I sound the same after a few drinks at karaoke. But there are others who are being supportive. Some saying that she's the female Chris Martin. I need you guys to pause and let me know what you think of that in the comments below. This article calls Apple a model, which, you know what? She's walked a few runways. I guess she gets the title. But she's studying at Vanderbilt University. She's studying law, history, and society. So a lot of different majors. It actually looks like Gwyneth and Apple recently did a campaign with Gap. So, you know, she is a model. She's out here getting these big campaigns, and she also has been trying to recognize her privilege as far as her connections. I mean, I don't think that they would have done the campaign if Gwyneth wasn't there.
Do you think that it's fair for the offspring of famous people to bank in on that fame, or is it unfair to people who are actually talented? It's definitely not fair. Absolutely not fair. It is the definition of unfairness. But I have an example to illustrate my point, because you might know Apple Martin. She is the daughter of Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin. And she is the new it girl, and she actually this week became a Chanel girl.
Life is just kind of unfair. Some people are nepo babies. Some are trust fund kids, and holy crap, when I hear about some of these people like I've met in LA, I'm like, wait, your dad creates what? Your dad owns what? It's insane. One thing that's interesting is that like Gwyneth Paltrow and Timothée Chalamet should be doing some press soon for their movie Marty Supreme. And this movie is about him having a relationship with her. He's also playing, I think, ping pong, right? He's like a tennis player, I think. Anyways, he does this in the movie, and they have some intimate scenes, which is something that Gwyneth was talking a lot about a couple months ago because she was all giddy that she was like doing things with Timmy. But this is so shady because supposedly Timothée begged Julia Roberts to star in the movie before settling for Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, That hurts. That's gotta hurt. It's not every day that you put Gwyneth Paltrow and settling in the same sentence, but there are new claims that Timothée did exactly that when Julia Roberts turned down the movie. Timothée begged Julia to play his love interest in Marty Supreme. Julia was offered, but there wasn't enough to tempt her. Instead, Gwyneth played the role, which again, you can't really go from Julia Roberts to Gwyneth Paltrow, right? I mean, they're both actually very beautiful women, but I just love Julia Roberts. Speaking to Radar, a source claimed that Timothée was keen to work with Julia on his movie. Timothée is playing the lead in Marty Supreme, which is about a ping pong champion. Okay, I was close, right? And it's not like Julia didn't want the role, but Timothy's just too young for her. She's 58 and he's 28 years younger than she is. She wants to work with Timothée, but turned it down after reading the script. She just didn't think the audiences would buy her playing a romantic interest to someone who's so much younger. Producers, including Timothée, tried their best to convince Julia. They even offered her close to $20 million for this movie, but it was a firm no. Which honestly, shout out to Julia Roberts for standing down. She didn't want to do this. She didn't like the story. She felt like it could be told better without her, and that is so refreshing. Turning down $20 million, I could never. I have a feeling that Gwyneth was too happy to get this role because she was okay with those intimate scenes. I mean, there were even reports, especially around the time of when Justin Baldoni and Blake were really in the headlines, where there were reports that Gwyneth even told the intimacy supervisor, the person who helps you go through these scenes and make sure nobody breaks the rules. Reminds me of one of the Franco brothers who, I think removed, some of the, plastic thing that you're supposed to put over your private parts to, actually do something to someone. It can get messy. But the intimacy coordinator, that's what they're called, was actually asked to step back when Gwyneth was getting it on with Timothée for the scenes. And that just makes me, kind of cringe inside. Because she was just really, in the moment. She didn't even, the coordinator, get out of here.
Gwyneth Paltrow said she told an intimacy coordinator to step back while she was filming sex scenes with Timothée Chalamet. The actors were on the set of their upcoming movie, Marty Supreme, when the coordinator asked Gwyneth if she'd be comfortable with a certain move during an intimate scene. And Gwyneth, who admitted that she didn't actually know that intimacy coordinators even existed, said she would feel very stifled by someone telling them what to do, so she asked the woman to step a little bit back. Now, these advisors are hired on set to make actors feel safe while recording intimate scenes, and they became the norm after the Me Too movement. Talking to Vanity Fair, the 52-year-old remembered telling the coordinator, "Girl, I'm from the era where you get naked, you get in the bed, the camera's on." She also joked that the age difference between herself and Timothée Chalamet only really dawned on her while they were recording the sex scenes, saying, "Okay, great, I'm 109 years old, you're 14.
You know what? Now I know why Kylie Jenner was so bothered by Gwyneth talking about these scenes and making a big deal about it, because, Gwyneth was fully in. She was method acting to the max. Apple actually came out with her own collection recently, which is a pretty big deal because she's only 21. It was a collection with a brand called Self Portrait. Here's a clip of Apple talking about how she's so excited for it to come out.
Can I tell if this purse is working out? It is me, Miss Apple Badass and Martha, coming to you from the floor in a gorgeous self-portrait, little baby tee, and these cute-ass earrings. I'm so excited to be the new Miss Self-Portrait and for the campaign to come out.
Apple Martin came on my radar back in December because she was going viral after going to the debutante ball. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. It's a French word, but it's an event that's held in Paris where a bunch of young girls are gathered and they all hang out and they get their pictures taken, and it's supposed to show I feel like it's intended to show some of the most eligible young women from rich families, powerful parents, and they all get together to just be themselves, and they dress in these crazy dresses, they get their photos taken, like I said. And Apple Martin actually went viral for all the wrong reasons because she was in line to go get her photo taken and kind of skirted up and sucked out all the energy in the room. Here's a clip of that. Somebody said that she just came in and stole that girl's thunder. She reminds me of one of Cinderella's stepsisters, and that looks like a scene in a teenage movie where the mean girl steals someone's show. A source close to Gwyneth Paltrow actually went to the press after that clip went viral to say that Apple is a girl's girl, that she would never mean to take the spotlight from anyone. That was not her intention. But later on, there was a clip where you could see Apple Martin was rolling her eyes at her date. Wait, okay, so I guess there are guys there. Count Leo Cosima Henkel von Donnersmarck. Wow, that is quite the name. Look at that family. What does he own? They said, though, that Apple had good rapport with her aristocratic escort. They had cameras on them all day long, and they were playing around. There's no doubt in my mind that Apple was a little shady there, but her mother, Gwyneth, insists that she is a star child. She says that she's been giving her children so much freedom, that they've achieved so much, and she's so proud of them. Good for you, Gwyneth.
My kids have been, I kind of didn't have the horrible teen thing. I think because I've always been very, very honest with my kids, and I've always empowered them with a little bit more freedom and responsibility than they thought they were ready for, so they've treated it kind of with reverence. And I've always said, I don't need to give you a curfew unless you give me a reason to give you a curfew, kind of a thing. So they're responsible, and they've never done anything too crazy, and I've really loved having teenagers. I mean, Apple's in her last year of her teenage years now, which is so crazy to me that she'll be 20 on her next birthday. I don't quite know how that happened.
But people on Reddit were tearing her response apart. Reddit can be a dangerous place. This person writes, she hasn't achieved anything. You usually need to have some sort of success to have an attitude. Well, I mean, her mother is an absolute narcissist, so she really has no chance in life. She's also bullied at least one girl at school so severely that the bully moved schools. Sounds like Gwyneth raised her right. Somebody else added, I heard that Apple was expelled from that school because the girl she was bullying attempted. Ooh, we're not even going to talk about that. Don't know what the truth is. But okay, yeah. If we don't know what the truth is, let's just end it right there, okay? One person actually emailed me their experience, writing, I'm a journalist myself, and I have a scoop on Apple. One of the reasons why she was expelled from school was because she was part of this Cartier girl group, where only girls with the then new and very pricey Cartier Love bracelet could be a member. It has a special screwdriver to take it off, and it's actually a very popular bracelet. Somebody quoted Gwyneth Paltrow and says, this explains a lot. Talking to people, Gwyneth said about her daughter and her friends, they have, and I mean this world in the best possible way, a sense of entitlement. That's beautiful. It's not spoiled. They are here for what the boys are going to get too. I find it very uplifting and heartening that we all seem to be going in this direction together. Somebody else said, I was just talking to my daughter's friend about Apple this weekend. They go to school together at Vandy. She's known for being generally awful. She also keeps allegedly auditioning for musical theater productions and isn't talented enough. Well, that's a big claim. I think at the Vanderbilt University she's at now, she's in the theater group. I don't know if she's doing actual productions. I mean, the school that she was attending back in 2017 actually had to send out a letter to family members because there were so many people using the N slur on campus. I cannot imagine being in high school and all these people are just so comfortable using this word, and it's gotten so bad that parents are getting a letter because everyone can't stop saying it. A source close to Chris Martin said that Apple's a very talented musician. Oh, okay. Well, think about that video that we saw in the beginning. And the schools in Santa Monica have an excellent music program. But supposedly Gwyneth refuses. She thinks that Apple should stay at the Harvard Westlake, the racist school, because of its impeccable reputation for sending students to the top colleges. Wait, that's starting to make sense. So we've got this really hatred, vitriolic, society here in this school, and they're going to the top schools, and they end up getting the top positions.
I was actually having a discussion with someone yesterday about the whole idea of nepotism. And I think this is really interesting to ask you because obviously you have this insane career. I'd love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair, right? Because as the child of somebody, you get access that other people don't have, right? So the playing field is not level in that way. However, I really do feel that once your foot is in the door, which you unfairly got in, then you have to work almost twice as hard and be twice as good because people are ready to pull you down and say you don't belong there and you're only there because of your dad or your mom or whatever the case may be. And it shouldn't limit you because what I definitely believe is that nobody in the world, especially anybody that doesn't know you, should have a negative impact on your path or the decisions that you make.
I agree. I'm I need to hear this today.
I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below, and let me know if you are a fan of Apple Martin's music. I mean, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Like, maybe I'll change my mind. Seeing it live, though, yeah, I don't know. You know, some people need the auto-tune, like Charlie XCX. Like, she's like pretty much a robot when she sings, and you know what? That's okay. I prefer the robot than, you know, something else, like what we saw earlier. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.